let's get into this Nicki Minaj story. So yes, Nicki's been out here still trolling people because she likes the attention. Apparently, all this attention is, getting the pussy puckering and the juices flowing and the nipples hard, in the implants that she got. So, and speaking of implants, she did make a comment about trans people and implants. So this all goes hand in hand. So yeah, so she recently did an interview with Katie Miller, disgraced wife of the even more disgraceful Stephen Miller, and she's been out here going hard on the trans community, and she's defending some of the stuff that she said about the trans community because the people in this administration, they're obsessed with the T in LGBT. So Nikki says she got no problem with trans people, but she got a problem with trans kids. So she attempted to explain her stance about trans youth, stating that she disagrees with children accessing gender affirming surgeries, despite such instances being extremely rare. Now, during an appearance on the Katie Miller podcast on February 3rd, so that was yesterday, the controversial Starships performer was asked, she's 43 by the way, why she is so vehemently opposed to California Governor Gavin Newsom. Well, she ain't the only one, because Halle Berry just had to read his ass recently over some stuff about women in menopause and talking about that he wants to make it right with her, but she said he never got in contact with her. And she said, if you think that you're gonna win California without women, oh, you got another thing coming. So, and quite as, don't even get me started with Gavin Newsom, because I don't think he's presidential material. He looks like a president. He's got the looks. He looks like Fitz from Scandal, very much like Tony Goldwyn. He's got that charismatic, Hollywood good looks or whatever. But as far as his politics goes, I just can't with him. Like, I feel like the minute you come out here and say that your son idolizes Charlie Kirk, I'm like, you fail as a father, because your kid should be idolizing you, not some racist. And when you go off and you do a whole podcast with Ben Shapiro and you're not pushing back on some of the Islamophobic stuff that he's saying and kind of taking his side, when you should be holding him accountable for some of the stuff that he's been going out with Hamas and Israel and all this other stuff, then I can't take you seriously. Because if you can't fight Ben Shapiro on some of the stuff he's saying, then you can't fight your Republican opponent when it's time to get up there and do a debate. So I don't trust him. And you've been doing a lot of flip-flopping lately. Like, I'm all for you getting a conservative on your show, but if you're going to have a conversation with a conservative, you really need to have like a real, true, debatable conversation and push back and not just be, okay, yeah, I could agree with. It's like, what? Y'all start that liberal weak sauce shit, and I can't get behind that, or centrist democratic weak sauce shit. So yeah, she went on the show and said that why she vehemently opposed to Gavin Newsom. So I had to go on my little Gavin Newsom rant before I could get to why she don't like him. So when Miller questioned whether Minaj was opposed to Newsom due to his support for trans youth, the rapper took a moment to try to explain her views. She said, I want to make it clear, I personally don't have an issue with the trans part of the LGBT at all. I am the biggest advocate for adults being able to do whatever the heck they want to do. They're adults. I don't care. So why would you say the biggest advocate for adults to do whatever they want because they're adults, but you don't care? It's like, yeah, when you're grown, you can do whatever the hell you want. But now you want to sit up here and worry about children when you need to be worrying about your own kid and not worry about other people's kids. So then she pulled this shit because this reminded me of someone else. We're going to get to that in a minute. Minaj then compared gender-affirming surgery to trans youth for allowing a teenager to get breast implants. She said 99% of the parents would not let their 17-year-old get breast implants. Well, didn't Kylie Jenner get breast implants at a young age? If you wouldn't let a child get breast implants, you're not going to want them to have any kind of surgery. We all know the brain is not developed. Well, yeah, because at 43, your brain has yet to develop. But I do agree with that. At a certain age, women's brains develop at a certain age. And for men, I can't remember what it is for women. I think it might be 23. For men, it's 25. But it's like, I wish people would stop always thinking that when you become transgender people, why is it the first thing y'all go to, those who lack the actual information? Y'all automatically go to, bottom surgery. Oh, they're going to cut their dick off. I know I'm being graphic, but Chris Avalon Unfiltered, that's the name of the show. Either shit or get off the pot. I ain't got time to sugarcoat. Y'all always think that, trans is cutting the dick off at a young, like, no, that's not even allowed. You can't go nowhere and they allow gender reassignment surgery at a young age. Yes, they have hormone blockers, which definitely helps because if you know that if you feel like you trans and you're going through years of therapy and whatever case, because there are steps before you get to that last resort. And a lot of times there's trans people out here who choose to keep their meat popsicle. Ask T.S. Madison. She still got the big dick Maddie or whatever what she calls herself. Um um she got the big dick term or whatever up in there. But yeah, like she's still walking around with her meat. There's a lot of girls out here still walking around with them. And then you have those like Hope Giselle, who I believe did get her bottom surgery and bigger boobs. And shout out to her because I love Hope. And also Amanda Lepore got the full situation. So there's certain girls out there who still choose to keep their man's toolbox, and there's some that choose to get the surgery. But even with that, what is it of your concern? That's none of your business. What people choose to do with their body. And if they end up regretting it, that's something they have to deal with, not you. And once upon a time, why does it sound familiar with the whole like getting augmentations and things put in your body? Didn't RuPaul say something like that when they asked him about trans people on RuPaul's Drag Race? When you gonna bring on trans people and all this other stuff? And he made a comment about augmentations, kind of like what Trinity the Tuck was getting, or detox, where they were getting certain things put in their body so that way they don't have to pad or whatever the case is. And he was comparing that to the trans thing, and people got pissed at him for that. And so, in my opinion, and it's no shade, I feel like the way that y'all started overcompensating a little bit, because then y'all started inviting trans people to compete on Drag Race. I felt like it was you're starting to overcompensate because of that little mistake Ru made. So they're thinking, oh, we got to compromise a little bit because we don't want to lose the audience. So, the queer audience. So we got to overcome it. Like, I love the fact that we have all different aspects of the community competing, but it just felt the way I went about it felt a little like you were trying to lay it on a little thick. But like I said, and here's the thing. This is another thing with her too. She's made history as one of the first mainstream rappers to duet with a trans artist, Kim Petras. Kim Petras is someone who is, I believe, made history in Germany, and that's outside the U.S., so that ain't got shit to do with us. But in Germany, I believe she was like the youngest person to ever get gender reassignment surgery. And I don't know what their laws are. They seem to be way more open-minded, of course, than we are here, but she was able to get this, she was able to become a full-fledged woman. And you work with a trans woman, so you know her. You work with her. Why not have this conversation with her before you start going on these conservative podcasts where they've decided to make trans people the scapegoat for a lot of their hatred and vitriol? That's the wrong place that you go in to have this conversation. Especially with this psychopath Katie Miller, whose tone is always yelling. She'll know no other way to speak but just be yelling and screaming. And she's supposed to be pregnant. So all that evil and hate you putting in that unborn child you got. So you could have talked with her. You could talk to T.S. Madison. T.S. Madison and y'all been friends for a long time. Remember, once upon a time, Nicki was supposed to bring the Queen Supreme Court to network TV. I think she was trying to get it on VH1 or something or another. And then that fell through because of the whole thing where Kaya and Maddie. So, T.S. Madison, you could have picked up the phone to have a conversation with her. You know people in the community. You work with a lot of queer people. You have a lot of queer fans. And yet, this is the shit you pull. And I don't know if I can believe her with this whole, I don't have a problem with you do, because what you just said a couple of days ago when Chrissy Teigen was in the background and Trevor Noah threw that little joke at you, made fun, threw a little shade at you on the Grammys. Chrissy Teigen in the background, I wasn't really paying attention because I was busy paying attention to people laughing and everything. Gave the thumbs up in regards of Nicki not being there tonight. You said Chrissy got a dick. You made a transphobic joke towards John Legend wife without any kind of proof that she's a trans woman. So you decided to use it as a slur. You've called Don Lemon a sea sucker. You called Jason Lee a sea sucker. Where people trying to come in my comments, I didn't know that was a slur. Don't play stupid. Not on my time. I ain't got time for it. Not this year, not next year or any year. Don't play dumb in the comments. I didn't know that was a slur. You know it was a fucking slur. Fuck off my line with that. So you using these derogatory words, you know what you're doing. And then recently you decided to say that with no kind of proof that Trevor Noah's a gay man. I mean, if he's a part of the community, congratulations, welcome to the family. But that's up for him to come out and reveal to the public that he got himself a man, that Shantae got a man at home. That ain't up to you. You need to be worrying about your man. But I got a clip for y'all that we're gonna play in a second where she got read twice. One by Joy Reid and one by Claudia Jordan. I need y'all to watch them videos because I feel like they summed up my overall, like I feel like I gave my opinion on this, but the way that Joy read her ass down to the floor, I'm like, child, now I was not expecting a Sunday sermon on a Wednesday, but I needed it. Well, technically I saw the video yesterday, but I'm bringing it to y'all today. So now, to clear all this up, because she running around here giving false information to a bunch of people who don't even care about facts, because feelings are not facts. It is extremely rare for gender-affirming surgery such as chest feminization or masculinization, vaginoplasty, and phalloplasty. First of all, shout out to Peaches, because I don't know why when vaginoplasty came up, that popped in my head. She has a song called that. Are performed on patients under the age of 18 in the U.S. Now, as noted by the Human Rights Campaign, in the rare instances where gender-affirming surgery has been performed on those under the age of 18, it has been done so only on patients from whom it is deemed clinically necessary to reduce depression and suicidal ideation stemming from gender dysphoria. So that's probably what Kim Petras was going through, hence why she got it at the age she got it, which I believe, like I said, was 16. Now, like I said, I can't. I'm just over trying to read this clout chasing bird for points. So, and there's another thing before I forget, because when I was looking up some stuff, I did a deep dive. So I came across this article from the Advocate that came out in hold on, when it came out? September 5th, 2012. So remember, because a lot of people say, but wait a minute, you keep throwing shade at the very community that has kept your career afloat, which would be the queer community. And that is true. But also, what people seem to forget, remember once upon a time, she said she was bisexual, which I was like, I don't believe it. I believe she's pandering to the community. I ain't never seen her out with no girl. I ain't never seen her. I'm not saying, because this is another stereotype I know people don't like. You ain't got to literally be out here eating somebody's box to show that you're a lesbian. But I didn't buy it from her. I just felt like she was pandering. So, according to the Advocate in this article, they said an article in Rolling Stone is either brand new or a few years old, but reposted on their website this morning thanks to a technical glitch. Reports seem to be very on this. Rapper Nicki Minaj says that she claimed to be bisexual early in her career solely to garner attention. Say, I think girls are sexy, but I'm not going to lie and say that I date girls. So, I think this is around the time when she kind of confused fans when lyrics from a new mixtape came out in which she said she's voting for Mitt Romney. And while Twitter went wild with haters, several media outlets came to her defense. Feminist blogger Amanda Marcotte tweeted, anyone who seriously thought Nicki Minaj endorsed Romney should quit writing and learn to understand basic human tropes. Well, here's the thing. Nobody can understand humor in writing unless you have the ability to kind of, because I have people who said, oh, I read that in your voice when I write certain things online. So there's a certain cadence that you have to have with that in order for people to know that you're joking. But that's not what I was getting from that. So yeah. So they basically said, like, yeah, she was running around lying about being bisexual. Because I was like, where's the article? Wait, where's the whole thing? Because there was one where I did read that. Oh yeah, they said that she claimed to be bisexual early in her career solely to garner attention. And I definitely feel that that's what that was. That you was definitely doing it to get attention. But anyway, so let me get up off this, and I want to play you guys these clips because I was like, first of all, now this was a read. You want to talk about reading? Let's talk about reading. I think I need to get that as a sound effect for the show. Shout out to Venus Extravaganza. Because y'all need to hear this from Joy Reid, where she went and said nothing but a word about Miss Nicki Minaj. Roll the clip.
That the other side is giddy about having Nicki Minaj, a rapper they despise, a rapper they don't respect, a rapper most of them probably have never heard one of her songs, and if they have, they're horrified. The reason they want her on a leash as their house pet, cuddled at Donald
It
Trump's
sounds
feet, the
wild.
reason she is the new house pet is because they need NEEED, Black people, to give them cultural cool. Black cultural cool has always been a powerful, powerful element in the country. Candace Owens was brought into Turning Point USA to do that, to recruit rappers, to recruit Kanye West for a reason. It's not like they like rap music, but they needed Candace to do that. Well, Candace has gone off the field. She's no longer playing ball. So since Candace isn't playing ball, they need a new Candace. So they tried Amber Rose, but Amber Rose is not popular enough with Black people, and also says she isn't Black. So that didn't really work. So they moved on to their next gambit, which is to get the Trinidadian who doesn't care about the killing of Trinidadian fishermen, the rapper who hates the female rapper who hates other female rappers, who hates on women who are more popular than her, Cardi B, people who are better at cultural marketing than her. She'll never be Rihanna. She'll never have a brand like Rihanna. She'll never be Beyonce. She's a 40-something-year-old Black female rapper who clearly don't care that much about Black people or immigrants, even though she was an undocumented immigrant. She's the perfect foil to replace Candace. Nicki is the new Canvas. They wouldn't want her if they didn't need cultural cool. Their problem is she ain't cultural cool no more. So the Barbs, Nicki ain't shit and she ain't saying nothing. And 100 little Barbs can't tell me nothing. Y'all mad about it? Be mad about it. But she not gonna work. But they're gonna keep looking for somebody Black to be the face, to put blackface on MAGA. And they know that cultural cool matters. That's why they're doing it. I'm done.
And shout out to Jennifer Wells. You know, I love me some Jennifer Wells. That's the woman, the white woman, the only white woman that's there on the panel that's right next to Joy Reid. But not the bees in a trap reference. I was living for that. And there were some people in the comments, because somebody said, you will think Nicki killed someone. I'm like, can't with you birds. I'm like, that's what you took from all of that? With everything that's going on, you talking about, you act like she killed somebody. Yeah, she killed a fucking career. That's what she killed. But last but certainly not least, because I was like, Joy, child, now I was not expecting that good. I was like, why you had to scout that lady like that? But sometimes you got to call it for what it is and call it out. And I'm sorry it says, but there's no coming back from this. So now, last but certainly not least, I got this clip of Claudia Jordan going in and letting have on Nicki. And child, I ain't gagged so hard in a minute, but let's play the clip. Please hold.
For Nicki to just go back and then attack Lizzo for her weight loss and for the album sold. Nicki, you're about to see what that looks like yourself. And I don't think you should be talking about surgery. I don't think you should be talking about people's looks. I don't think you should be talking about pedophilia, criminals, rapists, or child molesters. Because if you want to really talk about it, look no further than under your roof of the house that just got saved by that last minute $500,000 that you probably got from your new daddy. Well, that's what I think. And all the bars, they come at me, they attack me. I don't give a. I don't. I'm used to it. You're a bunch of 14 and 15-year-old children where your whole identity, you have a lot in common. If your whole identity is somebody else, you're a loser. And it's just about, that's all you're about. Be yourself. You can love a person as an artist and be critical of them for their policies and their politics that actually affect you. Let me show you real quick. I think Nicki Minaj is a dope ass rapper. I actually love the song F the Club Up, one of my favorites. I think she killed it on Monster. I think she had the best verse and out-rapped the fellas on Monster. But I don't like the politics. I don't agree with the politics. Does that make me a hater? No, it makes me be able to be objective and not an idiot that just blindly follows anyone. That's all we ask of you. It doesn't mean I hate her. I don't like what she's doing right now, and I won't support any artist that is for policies that benefit the top 1%, while your entire fan base is going to be harmed by the person that you're aligned with. And that's how we tricked you with that memento ass gold card that means nothing.
Yeah, and even the way she kind of switch sides on her LBGT fans, seemingly, you know what I mean, in the recent months, who were like really big advocates for her. It sucks when you see somebody build a following, the followers, follow the leader, and then they're left without a leader. We just left them abandoned, man.
And she's a little lesbo too. She's in the community her goddamn self. So miss me with that, Nicki. You admitted to being bisexual yourself, and you're gonna shat upon your community.
Ladies and gentlemen, I just want everyone to know that Claudia Jordan is my inner monologue, and it makes me so happy.
And look, if she could shat on the entire community, just like Trump could shat himself during a press conference and everybody trying to rush everybody out the room, anything is possible, in the words of Alaska. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? I feel like I ain't got nothing else to add to that. I feel like Claudia Jordan and Joy Reid said all that needed to be said, because all the things that they said, them two said, I was thinking. Then I saw somebody in the comments talking about day 13,568 of y'all talking about Nicki canceled, but y'all still talking about her. I'm like, what? The fact that some of y'all are so simple-minded and just short bus slow. If you are a famous person, a celebrity that does something that is harmful to a specific community or communities, like immigrants, queer people, the one loyal community that even though the community, even those celebrities who don't really rock with the LGBTQ community, but know that they're the loyal community for them. So they come and they tap dance over in our corner and take our money and show up at the pride events, but don't see it for you sissies, punks, and rhymes with maggots. Because there's a lot of them out there. At least she's being honest about the way she stands. Now the question remains, are you going to continue to support her, or are you just going to be a pick-me with no mind of your own and just continue to allow someone to disrespect you because you want, I don't know what it is that you want. I don't know if you're thinking you're going to get respect from this person, or these people going to see the value. Like, I don't see it for people who don't see it for me, or people that I genuinely care about, whether family members, loved ones, people that people within my community. If you don't rock with me, I'm not rocking with you. That's just it. I'm not sitting up there trying to kiss somebody's ass to get along with them. Ain't never been my personality, never will be. But I feel like Claudia and Joy said all that need to be said. And if people still can't see past their own ass and still want to make excuses, then be blessed is all I'm going to say. So, beloved. So I say all this to say, whatever your thoughts are on this matter, I definitely want to hear from you. Let me know in the comments down below.